Guilty as charged man accused of stalking Caitlin Clark has disruptive court hearing Indianapolis WXI. The man accused of stalking Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark appeared in court Tuesday, disrupting proceedings several times as a Marion County judge laid out what he was accused of. Michael Lewis Jr., 55, walked into court Tuesday in an orange jumpsuit manacled at his wrists. As soon as Judge Angela Davis greeted Lewis, he leaned back in his chair and said guilty as charged. Judge Davis advised Lewis he had the right to remain silent, but Lewis persisted, even after the judge told him this was not his time to talk. "Throw me the bookie," Lewis said, appearing to refer to his punishment for the crimes he was charged with. Texas man drove to Indianapolis after sending Caitlin Clark violent messages on X, court docs reveal. Lewis, charged with felony stalking, had allegedly been sending messages to Clark for nearly a month from his X account, at RacerX 2031. Some of the messages were deemed to be threatening and sexual. Investigators said Lewis's behavior escalated when he traveled from his Texas residence to Indianapolis to be closer to Clark. Police arrested Lewis at a downtown hotel Sunday night after he did not stop messaging Clark over X. The initial hearing in Marion County Court on Tuesday went through the basics of what Lewis has been charged with, advised him of his rights, and presented any conditions for him before the trial. Lewis continued to interrupt proceedings. When the judge asked him if his name was spelled correctly in the document, he pointed out his name was Michael Lewis Jr., not Michael Lewis as it appeared in court docs. "There's no Junior," Lewis said, referring to the document that left out Junior. "I'm free." "Guess you got the wrong guy." When asked if he needed an attorney appointed to him, Lewis said what he needed was his medication for his mental health. He claimed he was not being given his medication in jail. Judge Davis said she would have a doctor evaluate Lewis and prescribe medicine if needed. The court appointed a public defender to represent Lewis. That attorney was already in the room and stepped in to give Lewis legal counsel for the rest of the initial hearing. At this stage, the court is going to enter an initial plea of not guilty, Davis said. "I will not let you come in and plead guilty on the day of the initial hearing." Davis then had Lewis sign a no-contact order for Clark and a stay-away order for Gainbridge Fieldhouse and Hinkle Fieldhouse, both arenas used by the Fever. "You are to have no contact with her whatsoever," Davis said. "Direct, indirect. You cannot call her under your PIN number or anybody else's. You cannot contact her via any social media, or text or phone or computer." Lewis will also not be allowed within 500 feet of Gainbridge Fieldhouse and Hinkle Fieldhouse. You cannot go in the building, you cannot walk outside, you cannot park outside of it, the judge said. Lewis came into the court hearing with a $50,000 bond surety, and the judge decided to keep that in place. As she was trying to set the bond, Lewis spoke once again to tell her it would not be necessary. "I don't want bond, bail, or whatever," he said. "I'm here. I'm staying here." If Lewis were to post bond, he would not be allowed to leave Indiana, and would have to wear an ankle monitor to ensure he was abiding by the no-contact order and the stay-away order. A pre-trial hearing is set for Lewis on March 31st. Survivors of domestic violence and stalking can seek resources at the Indiana Coalition Against Domestic Violence website. Copyright 2025 Nexstar Media, Incorporated. All rights reserved. This material may not be published, broadcast, rewritten, or redistributed. For the latest news, weather, sports, and streaming video, head to WSPA 7 News.